Hello guys, I'm Christopher from GizChina Germany, and today I want to show you the OnePlus 2, the successor of the OnePlus 1 and self-styled 2016 flagship killer. Now, if this handset really is the promised 2016 flagship killer, or if those are just empty marketing words, is something we are going to figure out right in this video. Let's go! Once again, we start our review with a closer look at the phone's packaging, and once again there isn't that much to see. The box is a very simple one, and OnePlus kinda returned to the classic here with this box. Inside, next to the phone, there is an envelope containing some documentation, a red long USB Type-C cable and a wall charger, which is designed typically OnePlus. So let's continue with the handset itself, and here it is. I for myself have been kinda shocked when OnePlus unveiled the 2 since the handset was outright ugly. Well, at least that was my first impression, and as far as I know, I haven't been the only one thinking that way. Anyway, now as I hold the handset in my hands, things changed. As strange as this might sound, I actually love the design now, and I don't really know what made me change my mind, since on pictures I still don't like it that much, but things are how they are, right? So let's have a closer look around the device. The front is pretty classic and contains the usual sensors, front camera, status LED and phone receiver. But one moment, what's that on the bottom here? Yep, we've got a home button here, and it actually isn't a physical button, but a fingerprint scanner, and it also acts as a touch home button, but more about that later. Next, let's have a look at the sides of the device, and the first thing everyone will notice here is the changed frame design, in contrast to the strange double frame of the OnePlus 1, which made the phone unnecessarily large. The OnePlus 2 got a classic flat but solid metal frame that, along with slimmer bezels, reduces the footprint of the device immensely. In the end, you actually can hide the OnePlus 2 behind a OnePlus 1, which is pretty impressive. So for a 5.5 incher, this device is pretty small. So what else do we find on the frame? Well, on the left side there is a little switch which can be moved into 3 positions. This is a classic mute switch, but with an additional benefit. You can choose between all notifications going through, only important notifications going through, or no notifications at all going through. The lower side of the device houses one opening for the media speaker and one for the microphone, and in between them we also find the USB Type-C port. So days of plug fumbling are over with the OnePlus 2. On the right we find the on-off switch and the volume rocker, and the upper side houses the headphone jack and another microphone. So let's flip the phone, and yep, I've got the sandstone black version here, and this one still is my favorite flavor of all OnePlus devices, since I absolutely love the feeling of that cover and the grip it gives to the phone. Slipping out of your hand is something almost impossible with this one, and the camera module you see here does not only house the camera but also the autofocus module, which consists of infrared, laser and a sensor, and there also is a dual LED flash. Removing the cover is a lot easier to do than with the OnePlus 1. There is a little gap here which you can pull your nail on and then simply pull the cover off. Now you can replace it with one of the style swap covers, or replace your SIM cards, which are placed in this little tray here, which can be opened with your fingernails. Once again, it houses 2 nano SIM cards. There is no space for a memory card expansion. Regarding the screen, OnePlus decided not to play the pixel game like many other makers do, but instead stay on the ground with a solid 5.5-inch Full HD panel. I like this panel very much since it offers great sharpness, contrast and brightness, though outdoor readability is not on par with some other high-end flagships out there. Yet it still is perfectly enough for an effortless reading experience. The colors look very realistic and aren't too intense. If you don't like that, you can always change the display settings, of course. The touch panel does a very good job and reacts to every input without any issues, plus doesn't have any delay or inaccuracy. The surface is very smooth, like I love it to be, and it also appears to be very scratch proof, which is to expect since the OnePlus 2 uses Gorilla Glass 3 on its screen. When OnePlus dropped the curtain of the 2, some colleagues and me have been shocked about the fact that OnePlus are using the Snapdragon 810 on their second flagship after all those disasters we experienced with other devices using that chipset, and I for myself had a very shocking experience with the Xiaomi Mi Note Pro, which also ran on this processor. But allegedly OnePlus managed to fix all the issues of the Snapdragon 810 thanks to a new chipset revision, a lower clock, a new processor management and a new system to get the heat away from the chipset. Well, many manufacturers claimed that as well before, and how it's OnePlus finally managing to fulfill those promises. A manufacturer that is known for having a big mouth without much behind. Well, sounds strange, but they really somehow managed to do exactly that. Using the OnePlus 2, you actually don't burn your fingers. The chipset's temperatures stay within a normal range even under full load, and there isn't near as much of a significant performance drop under load like it is the case with other Snapdragon 810 devices. The OnePlus 2 runs very smooth and is a lot of fun to use on a daily basis thanks to a solid performance with no lags at all. Anyway, don't get stuck in illusions about next generation performance, since the whole thing has one big flaw. Due to the lower CPU clock of 1.5 GHz, the advertised 1.8 GHz actually never get reached, at least in summer. The performance still is miles away from the potential Snapdragon 810 performance. In reality, the chip is just a little bit faster than a Snapdragon 801, which is mainly caused by the new GPU and the LPDDR4 RAM of the 64GB version of the OnePlus 2, which I'm using here. So the 8 processor cores are still rather pointless and basically are only there for increased energy consumption, and that's a pity. So if you want to switch from a OnePlus 1 to a OnePlus 2 for performance reasons only, don't do it. It doesn't make much sense. The performance benefit is too small to justify the higher price tag in any way. Now I have to go mad a little, and the reason is the fingerprint scanner of the OnePlus 2. The company once stated that they just have been waiting to get a fingerprint scanner onto their devices until the technology reached perfection. That's complete bullshit, really. If you claim something like that, you should deliver, but that is what OnePlus failed to do. Now, don't get me wrong, the fingerprint scanner on the OnePlus 2 is good. Unlocking the phone with it is very fast. Just look at that, bam, we are in. Even directly out of standby mode without pressing any button. You even can save unlimited fingerprints on there, in contrast to many other phones out there. Anyway, perfection does still look different. First of all, I am missing some outstanding features, and even basic things like locking single apps with your fingerprint are not present, at least not to date. Next, OnePlus did a big mistake when they did the hardware design. It seems like there is some grounding issue going on, since when you hold the phone with two hands, the sensor sometimes just stops working. Pretty much everyone faces this problem, so it's not just me, and in my opinion they should do a callback here and replace those faulty units. But since I know them, they are more likely to stay silent and just sit the issue out like they did before, and that really is a pity. Talking software, the days of pre-installed CyanogenMod on OnePlus devices are over, and know what? I like it. In my opinion, it is one of the worst things you can do as a phone maker to outsource the development of your device's operating system. The battle between Micromax and OnePlus and later on Cyanogen Incorporated was the perfect example for what mess this can cause, and I'm sure none of you want to see something like this happen again. So instead of CyanogenMod, the OnePlus 2 now gets delivered with OxygenOS. This is a custom ROM developed by OnePlus that aims at staying as close to vanilla Android as possible. It still throws in some improvements. You can, for example, change how the touch buttons next to the fingerprint scanner react. You can reorder the quick settings here by drag and drop, and there are also gestures like double tap to wake, for example. There also is an option to enable a dark system theme just in case you dislike the bright lollipop design. The system also offers you full control over the status LED, and well, all in all, OxygenOS left a solid, stable and clean as well as structured impression, but any fan of CyanogenMod will probably miss the large amount of settings and thus might not be too happy with the operating system. Fans of stock Android, however, will probably love OxygenOS. In terms of audio quality, the OnePlus 2 does a pretty good job, even though there are no stereo speakers. It sounds very nice, loud and balanced with a ton of bass. Basically, it can be compared to the Oppo Find 7. The system offers you full control over the audio part since there is a system-wide equalizer, and listening to music via headphones is fun as well since the audio experience is pretty much perfect here as well. Telephony quality also is up to a high level with a very loud receiver and clear audio quality. You will also be understood perfectly thanks to a well-working noise cancelling system. Reception quality on the OnePlus 2 is pretty much perfect, really. I didn't encounter any issues with any network, be it 2G, 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi or even Bluetooth. Everything is working like a charm here, except the fact that the Chinese version of the OnePlus 2 doesn't support LTE band 20. So if you need that, you will need to purchase the OnePlus 2 using an invite from OnePlus directly through your local OnePlus online store. By the way, some people claim the dual SIM doesn't work with the Chinese version since it only comes with one EMEI number. Well, that's actually not true. As long as you use SIM cards from different carriers, you won't face any issues here. GPS did work outstandingly well. Also, I was traveling a lot in August doing city trips almost every day, and I took the OnePlus 2 with me on a couple of them, so I was able to test the GPS extensively. Well, it never took me more than a couple of seconds to determine the position, and the phone always took me to my target destination without any issue. Plus, the magnetic compass did work perfectly fine. GPS Toolbox also certifies a good GPS, as you can see right here. Alright, and now we hit the part of the OnePlus 2 that excited me the most, and that's the camera. The first camera samples that have been published by OnePlus for advertising purposes already looked amazing. But well, such samples often do, and we all know that, but reality often looks different. Especially in case of the OnePlus 2, people have been skeptical, and that includes me, since the camera does only have 13 megapixels and is based on an OmniVision sensor. Plus, the camera in the OnePlus 1 already wasn't too amazing. Anyway, in case of the OnePlus 2, the final product really does live up to the advertisements, and I think I don't exaggerate if I claim the camera of the OnePlus 2 to be as good as a good bridge camera, and it sometimes even scratches at the door of DSLR world. It really is insane what OnePlus did here, and I would have never expected to see results like this from a phone camera in 2015. Optics, sensor, software, everything has been done right here. The thing I noticed first is the insane amount of details and sharpness of the pictures without any anti-aliasing issues. Even if you zoom into the pictures, the first impression gets confirmed since you can zoom a lot until you will see the first unsharpness and fractals. Also, colors and contrast pretty much always look perfect and hardly leave any wish unfulfilled. Whoever loves to take pictures of fast-moving objects will love the OnePlus 2 as well, since it even captures such objects crisp and sharp, and the laser focus really gets the proper focus point in no time. The only downside is a comparably huge delay between hitting the shutter button and getting the final picture. It can take up to 1 second, but that probably is caused by the amazing automatic camera mode, which is in 99% of cases finds the perfect settings for your pictures. But it gets even more impressive once you try taking pictures in the dark. The camera is extremely sensitive to light, and I really wonder how this is possible with such a small lens. Anyway, somehow it is. Even with bad lighting, you can capture sharp images without any noise, and you do not even need to use the LED flash. Even at midnight, you can create stunning images that look like they have been shot with a real camera, but not with a phone. And once again, the laser focus is a real benefit here, since it gets your pictures sharp within way below 1 second. And the LED flash is great as well, bright enough to light up even larger rooms with no issues. The only downside is that it destroys the colors a little, since it isn't a dual tone flash. Recording videos works fine as well, and especially the Ultra HD mode results in some very sharp videos along some very good audio quality. The only downside here is that there is a bit of lags going on in the videos, but it's not too bad. By the way, the flickering you see on the demo video uploaded to this channel is caused by YouTube and not by the phone itself, just so you know. The front camera operates at a resolution of 5 megapixels and definitely selfie capable under daylight, but came out not to be so good in dark environments, which is a bit sad. 3100 milliamps, that's the capacity of the OnePlus 2's battery, which you can not replace, by the way. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but there is a flaw, and it's the Snapdragon 810. I mentioned it previously, OnePlus haven't been able to fix the high energy consumption of this SoC. The result, battery life, isn't too good. It reached about 5 hours of screen on time in the Geekbench battery test, and that means that it is hard to get through one day on a single charge. If I start my day at 6 in the morning, the battery is usually empty at late afternoon, and that only if I don't use GPS and throttle the screen brightness to a minimum. I for myself had to recharge the battery around noon, so I was able to finish the day without the need to recharge. Basically, that is absolutely unacceptable for me as a power user, but since fast charging works well, about 70% within 60 minutes, I definitely can live with that. My verdict about the OnePlus 2. Everyone who knows me knows that I am very critical about OnePlus. Anyway, chapeau OnePlus, you managed to impress me, since the OnePlus 2 is a great handset. Especially the camera is simply outstanding, and all in all, the OnePlus 2 doesn't only seem to be the cheapest Snapdragon 810 powered flagship today, it apparently also is the best one, but that of course is just a subjective impression, since I didn't test all of them. Some criticism has to be issued, though. First of all, I wish OnePlus to do further optimization of the battery life, since I am sure there is a lot that can be done through software. Battery life is the biggest flaw of this handset so far. Also, I would like OnePlus to change their marketing approach. I am fine with viral marketing, but I hate companies who claim stuff like 2016 flagship killer, while that obviously isn't true. The OnePlus 2 is a good 2015 flagship, but nothing more. They now showed that they can build amazing devices, so do they really need to do their marketing that way? I don't really think so. So that's all from my side. Thanks for watching the review, and as usual, do not hesitate to leave a comment down there in case you have any questions left. If you liked the review, I would appreciate a thumbs up and also a subscription to the channel. If you like in general what we are doing at GizChina Germany, make sure to follow us over at Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. You will now get a performance demo of the OnePlus 2, and I say bye bye, over and out.